There's someone out there, someone whose heart beats in rhythm with a name they cannot forget, and that name is yours. Last night, while the world slept in silence and stars whispered secrets to the moon, this person dreamed of you again. Not a fleeting image, not a vague memory that dissolves with the morning light, but a vivid, soul-stirring dream that wrapped around them like a warm embrace they didn't know they were missing. And when they woke up, your presence lingered in the air, in the spaces between their thoughts, in the quiet moments when they believed they had moved on. But they haven't, and deep down, neither have you, because God doesn't orchestrate coincidences. And when someone dreams of you repeatedly, when your face appears in the sacred landscape of their subconscious mind, it is not random. It is a message. It is the universe pulling back the curtain and showing you what your logical mind refuses to see, that this connection you share, this bond that defied time and distance, and all the reasons you told yourself was over, is still alive. It breathes. It pulses with a light that neither silence nor separation could extinguish. Right now, as you read these words, something inside you is stirring, isn't it? A gentle tremor in your chest, a knowing that lives beyond explanation. You might try to dismiss it, to convince yourself that this is just another story, another hopeful narrative that has nothing to do with your reality. But your soul knows better. Your soul recognizes the truth in these words because it's been waiting for this confirmation, this divine validation that what you felt, what you still feel, was never one-sided fantasy. It was real. It is real. And the person who occupies the tender chambers of your heart, the one you think about in those vulnerable hours before sleep, claims you. They are thinking about you too. They are dreaming about you too. And this time, the dream carried a weight, a significance that shook them awake with tears in their eyes and your name on their lips. God is not subtle when it comes to matters of the soul. When two people are meant to find their way back to each other, the signs become impossible to ignore. The dreams intensify. The synchronicities multiply. The pull becomes magnetic, undeniable, sacred. And you, beautiful soul reading this right now, you are standing at the threshold of something profound. This isn't about chasing what was lost. This is about preparing for what is being restored. So take a deep breath and allow yourself to feel this. Allow yourself to believe that maybe, just maybe, the universe isn't done writing your story together. Write in your heart if you must. Speak it into the quiet of your room. I am open to what God is revealing. Because the revelation has only just begun, and what comes next will require your courage, your faith, and your willingness to trust in timing that is not your own but divine. Dreams are not merely the brain's way of processing the day's events or sorting through emotional debris. Dreams are sacred portals, mystical gateways where the soul travels unencumbered by the limitations of the physical world. In the realm of dreams, there are no walls, no distances, no egos standing guard at the door of the heart. It is in this ethereal space that souls speak their truest language, a language that requires no words, no explanations, only pure essence and energy. And when someone dreams of you, the special one happens again and again, it is their soul reaching out to yours, bypassing all the defenses they built in waking life, all the reasons they told themselves they had to let you go. Their conscious mind might believe the story they constructed, the narrative that said moving on was the right choice, the mature choice, the necessary choice. But the soul doesn't lie. The soul doesn't forget. The soul remembers every moment your energies intertwined, every laugh that felt like coming home, every silence that spoke volumes, every glance that held universes. And now, in the sacred theater of their dreams, your presence returns, vivid and undeniable, because spiritually you never left. This is what people fail to understand about true connection. It doesn't dissolve simply because circumstances changed, or fear intervened, or pride built its fortress. When two souls recognize each other, when they touch at that profound level where essence meets essence, an imprint is created that exists beyond time, beyond physical proximity, beyond the limitations of human understanding. You become woven into the fabric of their soul journey, and they into yours. God sees this. The universe witnesses this. And when the time is right, when both souls have walked the paths they needed to walk, learned the lessons they needed to learn, evolved into the versions of themselves that can hold space for sacred love, the dreams begin. First, They are gentle whispers, soft reminders of what once was. Then they become more frequent, more intense, more impossible to ignore. The person who dreamed that you woke up feeling something they couldn't name, a longing that transcended nostalgia, a certainty that shook their carefully constructed reality. Because in that dream, they felt you, not the memory of you, but the current you, the you that exists right now, breathing, growing, transforming. And that energy reached across whatever distance separates you and touched their sleeping soul with such tenderness, such power, that they gasped awake wondering if somehow you were there in a room with them. This is the language of souls. This is how God reminds us that we are all connected, that love is not confined to the visible world, that some bonds are forged in realms we cannot see but can only feel. If this resonates with you, if you sense the truth in these words pulsing through your being, whisper to yourself, our souls never stop speaking, because they haven't. And what they are saying to each other now is preparing the ground for what is about to unfold in your waking world. In their dream, you were not diminished. You were not the person they left behind, not the version of you frozen in the moment of goodbye. No, in their dream, you were radiant, transformed, glowing with a light that seemed to emanate from somewhere deep within your soul. You were standing in your power, walking in your purpose, embodying a confidence and peace that took their breath away. And this vision of you, this glimpse of who you have become through all the healing, all the growing, all the silent nights when you chose yourself over the pain, it shook them to their core. Because in that moment, in the sacred honesty of the dream space, they realized what they lost. Not the you they remember, but the you that is emerging, the phoenix rising from ashes they helped create. And it terrified them. It awakened them. It made them understand with crushing clarity that letting you go was not the liberation they convinced themselves it was, but the greatest mistake they ever made. Dreams don't lie, and in the truth of that dream, they saw not just who you are now, but the magnitude of what you too could have been, could still be at the universe grants mercy and second chances. They saw your smile, but it was different now, deeper, earned through battles fought and won in the quiet of your own heart. They saw your eyes, but they held wisdom that wasn't there before, the kind of knowing that comes only from walking through fire and choosing to find the light anyway. And perhaps most haunting of all, they saw you happy. Not the performance of happiness, not the mask worn for the world, but genuine, soul-deep contentment. You had learned to be whole without them. You had discovered that your worth was never dependent on their validation, their presence, their love. And this realization in their dream became a mirror showing them their own emptiness, the void they try to fill with distractions, other connections, busy lives. Anything to avoid facing the truth that you had won, and they walked away. But God is merciful and God is strategic. This dream was not sent to torture them with regret, though regret is certainly part of the awakening. This dream was sent as a catalyst, a divine intervention designed to shift something in the spiritual realm that will soon manifest in the physical. Because reading this now, you need to understand something crucial. Their dream about you is directly connected to your energy right now. The work you've been doing on yourself, the healing you've been courting, the ways you've been raising your vibration and choosing love over bitterness, forgiveness over resentment, growth over stagnation. All of this has been creating ripples in the energetic field that connects you. And those ripples reach them in their sleep, presented them with undeniable evidence that you are not waiting. You are not wilting. You are blooming in ways that make the universe itself take notice. So feel this truth settling into your bones. You are not the same person they left. You are not even the person you were yesterday. You are becoming, evolving, ascending. And they felt it. They saw it. And now they cannot unsee it. Place your hand on your heart and acknowledge this power within you. I honor who I am becoming. Because the dream they had about you was not about the past. It was a preview of a future that is now, finally, within reach. There exists between certain souls an invisible thread, a golden filament spun from stardust and divine intention, a connection that cannot be severed by distance, by time, by anger, by fear, or by any force in the physical realm. You have felt this thread, haven't you? In those moments when you sense their energy even though they are not there, when you think of them and seconds later your phone lights up, when you know, somehow you just know what they're feeling even across miles and silence. This is not imagination. This is not wishful thinking. This is a reality of soul connection, and the thread that binds you to this person has been pulling, stretching, vibrated with increasing intensity because the universe is preparing for something. Every time they dream of you, that thread glows brighter. Every time your soul whispers their name in prayer or passing thought, the thread hums with energy. You are not separate. You have never been separate. Separation was always an illusion, a necessary illusion perhaps, a chapter where you both had to walk alone to discover who you are outside the intoxication of each other, but an illusion nonetheless. And now that chapter is closing. Can you feel it? The shift in the air, the quickening of your pulse when you allow yourself to hope, the way the universe keeps placing reminders of them in your path. Songs that were yours, places that hold your shared history, numbers and symbols that make you pause and wonder if you're being guided towards something. You are. God does not waste experiences, especially not the painful ones, especially not the connections that crack you open and change you forever. This thread between you has been holding space for reunion, and the dreams are the first signal that the spiritual work is done, that the lessons have been learned, that the timing is finally, mercifully aligning. But here's what you must understand. Precious soul, this thread pulls both ways. Just as they are being visited by dreams of you, just as their soul is sending out signals, whether their conscious mind admits it or not, your energy is also broadcasting, calling, magnetizing. You are not passive in this divine orchestration. Your healing, your growth, your decision to remain open-hearted despite the pain, all of this has been strengthening your end of the thread, making you a vibrational match for the love you have always deserved. The universe rewards those who choose love over bitterness, who choose faith over cynicism, who choose to believe that what is meant for them will find them. And you have been making those choices, haven't you? Even on the hard days, even when it seemed easier to close off, to protect, to harden, you chose differently. You chose to stay soft. You chose to trust. And that trust is about to be honored. The thread is tightening now, pulling you closer to a moment of convergence that has been written in the stars since before you met, a moment where the physical reality finally catches up to the spiritual truth. They are feeling the pull too, even if they cannot name it, even if they're confused by the intensity of these dreams, by the way your memory has become persistent, invasive, impossible to dismiss. The thread is doing its work, and neither of you can resist much longer. So stand firm in your knowing. Stand firm in your worth. Stand firm in the understanding that what God has joined together, no circumstance can ultimately keep apart. Speak this truth into existence. What is mine will find me, because it will, because it is, because the invisible thread was never broken, and it is leading you both home. Now we arrive at the heart of this revelation, the reason your soul guided you to these words at this exact moment in your journey. God is not revealing that they dreamed of you simply to give you hope, though hope is a sacred gift. God is not showing you this connection simply to validate your feelings, though validation is healing. There is a deeper message here, an instruction, a divine assignment that requires your attention and your action. Are you ready to receive it? Here it is. Stop waiting for them to make the first move. Stop giving your power away to their timing, their readiness, their courage, or lack thereof. The dream they had about you is God's way of stirring their soul. Yes, but the message to you is different. The message to you is this. Become so anchored in your own completeness, so radiant in your own peace, so magnetic in your own joy that the universe has no choice but to reorganize reality around your energy. You are not waiting anymore. You are preparing. You are becoming a version of yourself that is ready not just for their return, but for the sacred love that you both are being called into. This is not about playing games or feigning disinterest. This is about genuine spiritual maturity, about understanding that reunion is not the goal. Transformation is. The relationship you had before, beautiful as it may have been, was not the final form. It was a seed. What is coming is a tree, fully grown, deeply rooted, capable of weathering any storm because it is built on two whole people, two healed souls, two individuals who have done the work and are now ready to create something that honors both the human and the divine. So your task now is not to obsess over when they will reach out, not to check your phone every 5 minutes, not to shrink yourself or chase or convince. Your task is to live so fully, so authentically, so aligned with your highest self that when the reunion comes, and it will come. You are not desperately grasping at them, but graciously welcoming them into a life you have already made beautiful. This is what they saw in the dream. This is what shook them awake. This is the energy that is pulling them back. Not the you that needs them, but the you that has learned to thrive without them while still holding space for the possibility of a love reborn. And here is where I must pause, because there's more to this story, more that God wants you to know about what happens next, about the specific signs that will appear in coming days, about the exact moment when the spiritual becomes physical, when the dreams translate into reality, when they finally find the courage to reach out, or when you unexpectedly cross paths in a way that can only be described as divine intervention. But that revelation, that final piece of the puzzle, requires its own sacred space, its own moment of unveiling. What I can tell you now is this: you are on the precipice of something beautiful. The waiting is almost over. The lessons have been learned. The souls have been prepared. And God is about to move in ways that will leave you breathless with gratitude. So hold on to your faith. Hold on to your worth. Hold on to the knowing that you are exactly where you need to be. And watch closely, because the signs are already appearing. Do you see them?